Let's get it. Let's get it. We live. We live. We in the building. Shalom, everybody. I'm gonna give y'all a minute to jump in. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get it in. Let's see where we're at. Let's see what features I got into. Okay. Alright, Shalom Israel, Yahweh Baal Shemel Shabrak to all the brothers, Yahweh Shema Alakdan Baal Shemel Shah to all the sisters. I just want to do a sound check, a video check, and y'all hear me okay? Just put in the comments, let me know. You know what I'm saying? This first live is gonna be a bit in order to go live on TikTok, you gotta go live first, like through the phone, in order to get, the live on the live studio. So the next live gonna be a lot more interactive, gonna have a lot more, different features. But for this first live, we're just gonna get it in raw, we're gonna get these topics in. Today's topic is on Carnival, right? Today's topic is Carnival is the reason why your life is still hell. Alright, we're gonna get all the way in. We're gonna get all the way in this topic. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna bring it out, we're gonna bring out the history, we're gonna bring out everything that happens, recently in the recent Carnival, things that keep repeating over and over. We're gonna get in this whole thing, alright? If you're new to the channel, if you're new to the channel, make sure you follow, drop a share, drop a like. Make sure you comment into the water to Costly Array, the water to that sister tells me what alright, make sure the audio's to the water. Alright, we're gonna get into the history of it. We're gonna get into everything about Carnival and about the energy of Carnival, what it represents, how it ruins the lives of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Alright, because that's who we're here for. Alright, the ISUPK and the commanding GEN.YAHANNA, we here to help and to guide blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, the only people on the face of this earth that do not know their history, that do not know their nationality, don't know their language, don't know their own God. Every other nation has a God that looks like them. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, our God looks like every other nation. Looks like every other nation, looks like the so-called white man, looks like the so-called Arab, looks like the African. We in all these different religions, we don't have a God that looks like us, right? And that's by design. So we're going to get it in on the topic of Carnival. There are some videos that I wanted to share, but I don't know how to share it on this particular live. But we're just going to get it in. If I need to, I can pull it up on my phone, and just show you on the screen. It should be to work. Alright, but for now, we're just going to get it in. So I'm going to start by going into, in fact, let me pose a question to the comments, alright? The question to the comments is Carnival good? In fact, let me put it this way. Is Carnival black culture? Alright, is Carnival black culture? And I'm gonna see if I can put a poll in here through the phone. Let me see what that might be. Interrupt. I'm gonna do a poll. Alright, let me do a text poll. Okay, is Carnival black culture? The options gonna be yes or no. Alright, let's see where gonna do a minute poll. It's a quick one. Alright, we're gonna see where what the consensus is Carnival black culture? Because a lot of people there, you go there, you see the Jamaica flag, you see the Trinidad flag, you see all these colorful things that represent the Caribbean, but is Carnival black culture? Alright, we're gonna get it in. Got a few responses. Let me see. Yeah, let's get all the way on this topic. Let's see what the people are saying. Alright, of course, if anybody has any questions in the comments, put your questions in the comments. I'll get round to it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get in this whole thing. I'm gonna break it all the way down. For anybody that joined in live, that just joined in new, the topic is that Carnival is the reason why your life remains hell. Alright, that's the topic for tonight. We're gonna get all the way into it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get in. Alright, so let's see. Of course, as you come in, you can share the live. Shalom, we got ISUPK Baltimore. Alright, I think the results of the poll just came in. How do I get these results? I think pretty much. Let me get it real quick. Poll. It came up for like a second. I might have missed it. Let me see what we got. Alright, let me see. In fact, just type it in the comments. Type yes or no. Is Carnival black culture? I want y'all to type in yes or no in the chat. Is Carnival black culture? And if you want to expand, you can go ahead and explain why you think it is, why you think it isn't. Is Carnival black culture? Alright, that's the question. Let me see if I can get the results of this poll back, because I don't know. Alright. Shalom to everybody that's joining new also. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you hit the follow button. Go ahead and hit the follow button, drop comments, drop a like, share the live. Alright, we're gonna get this round to everybody. Alright, this is real-time revelation. This is where I break it down to you in real time and I reveal to you the biblical perspective about everything going on today, about everything going on in your life right now, everything you do, everything you think. I will give you the real-time revelation. Alright, the biblical perspective on whether, you know what I'm saying, it's according to the Bible or whether it's against the Bible. Alright, we're going to get all the way into it. So let me see. I don't see anybody put in the comments. Yes, so the question I posed to anybody in the comments, is Carnival black culture or is it not black culture? Alright, that's the question. And what I would like, you know what I'm saying, if you want to expand on why you think it is black culture or why you think it isn't black culture. Alright. Hey, shalom to somebody named Just in the chat. Just follow the channel. Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Brakatah if you're a brother, or Yahweh Shemar Alatan Bashim Yahweh Shai if you're a sister. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all joining the following the channel. Alright, so we're gonna just get all the way into it, right? So is Carnival black culture? Because a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, we celebrate, especially in the Caribbean, in places like Brazil, you know, Latin America, we celebrate Carnival, and it's celebrated as a, you know, representation of Caribbean culture, representation of Latin American culture, right? It's presented as an expression, as expressing ourselves. You know, we play music and everything, dancing, this and that and the third. All right, but is it black culture? The answer is no. The answer is absolutely not. The Carnival is not black culture. It does not come from us. All right. Now I know some. If you go into the history of Carnival, like for example, if you go into the history of specifically the more Caribbean focused Carnival, right, which is what's more popular in the UK. All right, Carnival, they will say its origin is from, you know, Trinidad and Tobago. They say they introduced it to like the UK. They had a carnival in Trinidad, you know, where they do all these different things. Like I can get the Caribbean carnival origins. It says here, I've got it up. Let me see if I can. What I wanted to do is share my screen so I can get it up. Because I like to, you know, the Bible say prove all things. So I don't like to just talk, you know what I'm saying? I like to prove what I'm saying. Alright, so what we're going to do, I'm going to flip my camera. Let me show you the screen, right? I just typed in Carnival origin. Alright, it gives you different origins from ancient Rome to Greece to ancient Egypt, Brazil. Alright, the one we're going to focus on for right now is the Caribbean one. It says Carnival's origins in the Caribbean date back to the late 18th century on the island of Trinidad and Tobago. It emerged from a ritual called Canis Brulis, which translates to sugarcane burning. This ritual was a form of rebellion against enslavement, as enslaved Africans would set fire. And where it says Africans here, you know, it's not Africans. It's really referring to, the people in Trinidad and Tobago, which are Benjamites according to the Bible, would set fire to sugarcane to destroy a valuable export commodity. So it started as a rebellion against our oppressor. He had us cutting cane in the Caribbean, and we burned that cane. We burned that cane as an act of rebellion, and over time, that was originally the start of it, right? But if you think of Carnival today, it really has nothing to do with rebelling against the oppressor, or you don't see Cain being burnt today. So what is the origin of what we see today? Carnival, what we see today, is a time where you go out, there's music playing, you go out, you drink, you catching wines, you doing all sorts of things, and taking all sorts of narcotics. Carnival is really just a time to do everything that your flesh desires, to do all of it, to take, do all sorts of 304 activity. Is really that's what Carnival is, right? So we're gonna get into the origin of that. Alright, so we're gonna get into now where that actually comes from is from ancient Rome and Greece. Alright, so I can get it right here. I can get these definitions. I'm gonna read the Greece one first. Alright. Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly. Let me quickly clean the camera. Make it all see a bit clearer. Alright, no sign of Christ. Alright, so it says here in Greece, some say Carnival originated as a Greek spring festival to honor Dionysus, the god of wine. Alright, so this god is the god of wine and fertility. The god of wine, fertility, and agriculture, if you look into it. Alright, there's also there's also a definition on, or a brief history on ancient Rome. It says Carnival may have originated from the Roman festival of Saturnalia, which was celebrated around mid-December to honor the god Saturn. During Saturnalia, masters and slaves would exchange clothes and revel in drunken celebration. Now that sounds a lot more like, what Carnival is today. This reveling and drunken celebration, that's pretty much what you see at Carnival today. Alright, it says the Roman Catholic Church, that Catholic Church, good night, later modified Saturnalia into a festival to mark the beginning of Lent. Alright, so that's what, it originates from Greece to honor the god Dionysus, and then the Romans adopted it to celebrate their god Saturn, or Saturnalia, which is essentially is very similar to the false god Dionysus. So they kind of almost molded it into the same thing. All right, and then over time, the Catholic Church, or Catholicism, which if you look up what is it? If you look up Catholic, the word Catholic just means like a joining of everything. It just means I'm gonna go into it now. I'll get the definition real quick, just so you know. I ain't just talking. We prove all things. Catholic definition. Catholic means including a wide variety of things and all embracing. And what that Catholic Church did is all the pagan holidays and rituals that they celebrated in ancient Greece, or the pagans, they now took that and then tried to take the Bible as well, and they put everything all into one, and that's how you get Catholicism. That's how you get the Christian Church. All right. For example, I don't know if y'all know, but Christmas is not in the Bible, or at least not in the Bible to be celebrated. It's actually in the Bible specifically not to be celebrated. But what the Catholic Church did is they took ancient festivals. They took ancient festivals, which some say it's like the winter solstice. If you look into is pagan origins of Christmas, and you'll find out exactly what it is. And what happened is that the Christian Church, or the Catholics, they just took that and then tried to pair it with the Bible, and then created Christmas, which is completely not in the Bible. The same thing with even Lent. They say Carnival was adopted as a precursor to Lent, so to happen before Lent, right? Now Lent is a quote unquote holiday where they will abstain from certain things, abstain from things they desire for like what 30 days, something like that. So what Carnival was essentially to do everything and anything you wanted, anything your flesh desired, to revel in drunkenness, gluttony, all sorts of perversion, to do all that, to do all of that before you would then abstain from it for 30 days. Right? It was essentially the big release. The big release where you'd have all sorts of, alternative lifestyle activity. You've had all sorts of just imagine your oppressor. Imagine Romans. Imagine them just doing whatever they actually desired, having no sort of social, morals or any sort of rules or guidelines. They just had none of that for whatever period of time Carnival was. Imagine all the things your oppressor would do. Just unhinged, unfettered, unrestricted. He just does anything. You look at them today, all you have to do is look at the rich and you see the type of parties they have. You see them Diddy parties. That's what was happening in this time. All right, that's what was happening in ancient Greece during this carnival time, Saturnalia, or whatever they want to call it. All right, so I'm gonna go into it further. Um, Boom. So I'm gonna go into it. So I got here. Let me go ahead and flip the camera one more time. All right, so I got right here. All right, this is the image. It says the ancient origins of carnival. All right, the ancient origins of carnival. So it says throughout history, humanity has always celebrated the changing of seasons and the renewal of life through various festivals and rituals. Among these, carnival stands out as a vibrant tradition with roots stretching all the way back to ancient civilizations such as ancient Greece and Rome. All right, so that's where carnival comes from. Ancient Greece and ancient Rome. It says, like with most ancient pagan festivals, celebrations included feasting, dancing, and drinking. And that's exactly what you see in Carnival today. This is the tradition. It really has nothing to do with rebelling against the oppressor, nothing to do with burning Cain. What you see today is feasting, dancing, and drinking. All right. It says to welcome the end of winter. It's like the end of winter and the beginning of spring. They believe that by driving out winter, they would ensure the renewal of life and fertility in the coming season. And that's also something you see, in Carnival today. You see, you see all sorts of, sexual acts going on. All this daggering and whining. It's really is almost a tradition for fertility to what's the word? To worship the god of fertility. It says right here in ancient Greece, the worship of Dionysus, the god of wine, fertility, and ecstasy, gave rise to elaborate festivals known as the Dionysian celebrations. These celebrations often featured theatrical performances, costumes and masks, music, dancing, and lots of drinking. That's what you see. That's what carnival. That's where the tradition of carnivals come. The floats and the everybody's wearing these elaborate costumes or wearing their masks. Now their masks, we're gonna go into what their masks represent and what they do later on. All right, but this is showing you exactly what carnival is, what sort of thing they do in carnival, and the traditions that come from ancient Greece, which I don't know if you know anything about the ancient Grecians, but they are certainly not, Caribbean. They're certainly not Jamaican, Trinidadian, they not us. All right. It says during the festival, women, slaves, and even prisoners would participate in the celebrations and revel in the freedom usually reserved exclusively to male citizens. All right, so that's what it's about. It's about reveling in so-called freedom. All right, now let me see where we're at. I'm gonna get right here in this one. So in ancient Rome, Saturnalia, the god of agriculture and abundance. So it's basically the same type of god as Dionysus. So it was basically the follow-on from Dionysus, right? It says during the week-long festival, social norms were temporarily suspended. Alright, social norms being temporarily suspended, and that's what you see, in Carnival. Social, normally a woman wouldn't be going around dancing on one man, then walks 10 steps later, dancing on another man, then, walks 10 steps later, dancing on another man, all this drinking and smoking, what's the word? Normally, you would call that a 304. But during Carnival, that type of behavior is just absolutely acceptable. All right? That's why it says, social norms were temporarily suspended. Temporarily, on these days, you could just indulge in anything. You could just indulge in all matter of things, anything your flesh desired. You could just indulge in it, and it was just socially acceptable now because it's Carnival. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get to the next part I want in this. So in this section, it talks about how it is spreading it spread through Christianity. The Christian church adopted it, and made it, part of their own thing. It says they incorporated the incorporation of Carnival into the Christian calendar as a period of feasting and celebration before the fasting of Lent. All right, and he talks about Lent, which really isn't in the Bible at all. So, I don't really need to go into it too much. Let me see what we got. But let's see. Okay, let's get it right here. All right, during the Middle Ages, Carnival flourished across Europe, with each region adding its own unique customs and traditions to the festivities. For example, in Venice, which is Italy, Carnival became renowned for its masked balls, elaborate costumes, and grand processions. Across the city's canals. The wearing of masks serves as a liberating force, allowing individuals to conceal their identities and indulge in behaviors that were otherwise forbidden. Now, you go ahead and wear their masks. That masks represent you now hiding your identity. So now you can just do whatever behavior that would be otherwise forbidden. All sorts of alternative lifestyle activity was going on in that festival, in that carnival. All right. Even the word carnival, it comes from the Latin word carne or carn, which means flesh or meat. So now on this day of carnival, you reduce yourself to a piece of meat. You literally reduce yourself to a piece of meat and just indulge in all sorts of behaviors that would otherwise be, looked down upon. All right, it says behind the anonymity of their masks, people would engage in flirtation, mischief, and even political dissent, creating a space where social norms were temporarily suspended and the imagination could roam free. Good night. The imagination could roam free. Listen, I'm gonna tell it to you right now. Carnival is halfway LGBTQ. All right, that's what they promote in that in the community. They promote whatever you desire, it's okay. God made you that way. All right, whatever you desire to do, that's what you should just do. You should just give in to your desire. It's now an identity. All right, that's what carnival is. It's very carnal, and it's just giving in to the desires of your flesh. All right, we're gonna get into another definition right here. All right, so even the word carnival can be used in different contexts. In this example, so this is the example of the figurative use of carnival. All right, it says any occasion or period of celebration or festivity characterized as indulgent, unrestrained, or licentious. All right, indulgent, unrestrained, or licentious. That's what you see in carnival. And this licentious, I know that's a tricky word. I had to look at myself. Licentious, gonna get into it. Licentious means promiscuous and unprincipled in sexual matters. That's what carnival represents. That's exactly what carnival represents. Where things that would be looked down upon or now seen as 304 activity is just acceptable. All sorts of perversion, even in Trinidad, or in the Caribbean especially, you have what's known as carnival babies. All right. Does anybody know what a carnival baby? Y'all go ahead and type it in this chat if you don't know what a carnival baby is. All right. And I see a lot of people have joined the live. You know what I'm saying? Shalom to everybody that's joined the live. Make sure you drop a like, drop a follow the page. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, Lord in Christ. Too, I see somebody named Mocha Beauty. All right. Shalom, Lord in Christ. Let's see who we got. All right. I think that's all the messages we good. All right. So, where was that? So, does anybody know what a carnival baby is? Let's see if y'all know what a carnival baby is. Make sure y'all type in the chat. All right. Now I see something crazy. I see a lot of people bringing their children to carnival, which is of course something you shouldn't do. You now have your child, something so innocent and precious. You're bringing your child around indulgence, what's it called? Indulgent, unrestrained, and licentious. You're bringing them around that licentious activity, which is defined as promiscuous and unprincipled in sexual matters. So you should not even be a carnival yourself, but you should certainly not bring your children to carnival. Alright? When you do so, you rob your children of their innocence. You rob their children of not seeing their mother do all sorts of activity, not seeing their aunties, their sisters just letting loose, just literally loose being the word. Alright, that's you should not bring your children around anything to do with carnival. Alright. Again, if y'all have any questions in the chat, make sure y'all put them in. I can get to it for sure. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into a carnival baby. Alright, we're gonna learn what a carnival baby is. Because that's something that happens a lot as a result of carnival. Alright, we're gonna get it. This is the word of the week, carnival baby. Alright, a carnival baby is a child born about 9 months after carnival. Right, so you can imagine what has been happening during carnival. You indulge in all a ridiculous amount of alcohol, a ridiculous amount of narcotics, and what results, and you just really embrace every desire that you have, and what results is a child born about 9 months after carnival, usually in November, from being conceived during carnival fever. So that's what that's even known as. Alright, that feeling where you just really you now have no inhibitions. Alright, an inhibition is something that otherwise you would not do. You'd think twice about. Now you just doing whatever feels good to the flesh. Alright, so we're gonna get it here. The acceptance of normally disapproved social practices, such as the public consumption of alcohol and forms of sexual interaction, also relate to this phenomenon. And also gang warfare, and it says no less than male-female relationships and the carnival baby syndrome contribute to a societal detumescence. All right, and what detumescence is essentially, like I explained before, it's that big release. All right, where everybody just does everything they desire and they release just everything. They don't hold back on their liquor. They don't hold back on violence. As somebody who's violent at carnival, they're gonna be even more violent. That's why you see, and we're gonna go into the crime statistics too. You see a lot of crime happening during carnival. A lot of violent crimes and a lot of like SAs and things of that nature. All right, and it says even if for certain portions of the society more than others. All right. So that's what a carnival baby is. A carnival baby happens because you are now intoxicated. You're already. It's a time where it's encouraged to be dancing on everybody, be dancing with everybody. Be dancing in a very explicit manner, and now you get all sorts of feelings and thoughts, and now all of a sudden you got a child 9 months later. But you really don't know this person from the back of your hand. You don't know this person that just arrived at this carnival and y'all, did what y'all did, and now y'all got a baby, you don't know if you can find the father. The father's usually from a different city. Everybody from all sorts of different cities go down to Notting Hill, and now, what I'm saying, whatever happened. You can see the child. You don't know where that man is even from. You don't know what sort of demons he select. You don't know what sort of demons he has. You don't know, what I'm saying, you don't know even where to find him. You don't have his contact. It's just whatever happened. It's what's known as a one night stand. And now you have this baby. You either have the choice to have the baby, and now you have to raise a child with no father, which is hell in itself. Raising a child with no father is something I would not wish on any woman. It is a terrible experience, but it's so glorified today, where you're propped up if you're a single mother. You're propped up if you're a single mother. Let me tell you something that it might offend you. It might offend you. I want you to listen to this very carefully and let it sizzle in your spirit. Captain Zari, I love to say that phrase. let this one sizzle in your spirit. If you are a single mother, single motherhood is a result of a failure. It's a result of a failure somewhere down the line. Alright? That's what single motherhood is. Unless it's from somebody being unalived or passing away, which of course is a terrible thing and terrible to happen. Anything outside of that results from failure. Results from failure in your relationships, results from failure being able to restrain yourself, results from failure being able to properly vet the person who you're giving your body to. Single motherhood is nothing to be propped up, especially the way it happens for the most part today. Alright? Hey, Shalom, we got ISUPK Montreal, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabbarakatah. Alright, no sorry in Christ. Alright, so where was that? Yeah, carnival babies. So you have either the option to, give birth to this carnival baby, and now you're raising a child without a father. That child has no masculine figure to look up to, no balance between a father and a mother. A child needs a mother, of course. A mother will teach that child, patience and nurture that child and the emotional side of being a functional member of society. Without that father, you lack a lot of discipline. Without a father, you lack a lot of discipline, and that's why you see a lot of brothers and sisters, they lack discipline today. A lot of brothers, they join these gangs and things of that nature because they lack discipline. They're looking for some form of masculinity, and that's the only way that they see it. That's the only place that they see something that they perceive as masculinity, because they don't have a father. Alright? Or the second option, so once you conceive this carnival baby, you could do what society tells you to do with that child. Alright? That society opens up an abortion clinic on every damn, every area you find black people. You don't know where, they tell you where you can go. They tell you, you don't have to bring that child into the world. They tell you all these sorts of things. They tell you it's, if you don't have a certain amount of money, or, you might not know who the father is, you might not want to bring this child into this sort of situation. But let me tell you something. Having a terrible life, having a rough life is far better than having no life at all. It's far better than having, just not even being given the chance. Alright? Or they will tell you, your body, your choice, you got to focus on your career, which I don't know if y'all know, but a career is just working for your oppressor. It's just, you're working day in and day out, and instead of bringing forth life, you're going to stifle this out in order to focus on being a better slave, a better servant, right? That's pretty much the reasoning. If you want to focus on your career and unalive what's being created in you, your lineage, your own flesh and blood, you're putting being a servant over the life of your own children. Alright? Let that one sizzle in your spirit. Alright, shalom to all the people that are joining as well. I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Again, tonight's topic is Carnival is the reason why your life is still hell. All right, we going all the way into we went into the history of Carnival. You know what I'm saying? Right now we're going into things that happen because of Carnival that you know ruin a person's life. When a sister might make that decision to unalive a child because she might not know who the father is, or she's wants to focus on her career, or any of all these excuses. When you unalive somebody, it's not just as simple as it's it's not just as simple as you just forget about it. It's just this never happened. That trauma, I don't know if y'all know, but even brothers in gangs or anything like that, when you unalive somebody, that trauma stays in your mind. And not only that, with sisters, because this what you're unaliving is inside of you, it can also cause a lot of complications down the line. All right, where you might struggle to have children that you actually want in the future. All right, or a planned, you might struggle to have these children in the future. All right, or all sorts of mental illnesses like anxiety and depression. These sort of things can stem from that because it's a feeling of guilt, and rightfully so. There's really no other way to put it. Okay. All right. So there's that side of thing. There's carnival babies that really is just a result of you letting go of any sort of sensibility that you have. All right. So, and let's get into. So we went into the history of carnival, what it represents. Let's get a little bit of the Bible. All right, let's see what the Bible says about um the works of the flesh. All right, let's get it. So we're gonna get into this. So this is the book of Galatians, chapter 5 and verse 19. So you can find this, Galatians 5 and 19. I'm gonna read on. All right. It says, "Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery." And you see a lot of that during carnival. You see, women that have a man, they now dancing on 3, 4, 5 different men. They might lay with a different brother. They commit adultery. A brother might go out and he's dealing with a woman who has a man already, or is already intimate with a man. That is adultery. All right, fornication, which again is really any sort of unlawful sex, is fornication. All right, uncleanness. There's all sorts of uncleanness. I'm gonna go into the uncleanness too, carnival, because there's a lot of that going on. Things that you do at carnival that you would think is terrible and disgusting in your day-to-day life is just acceptable now because it's carnival. All right, then you got lasciviousness, idolatry. So even things like when you smoke weed, that is idolatry. That is a tradition that serves an Egyptian god. All right, there's your idolatry. There's all sorts of different things. You got witchcraft, which what a witch is what you would call a drug dealer today. All right, they brew potions, and pills and these sort of things to make you do things or make you feel things you wouldn't normally feel, like for example, ecstasy, right? That would be regarded as a love potion back in the day. All these different things like these different drugs. Now, drugs come from plants, and plants are not inherently bad, but it's when you are now taking what would be medication, you're overdosing, or you're using it for a reason it was not intended to be used. That right there would be witchcraft. You also got hatred, and you see a lot of that in carnival where, imagine you got all these different gangs and sorts of things, and they all go into the same place. They hate each other, and now they all in the same place. You get all sorts of violent acts happening, you know, during carnival because of this hatred. Variance, the same thing. Emulations, wrath, and strife, and seditions, heresies is all separation and hatred towards one another. You got envyings, murders, which you see a lot. We're gonna go into the crime statistics, the drunkenness, revelings, which this is just the indulgence of really any of all the things you want to overindulge in alcohol, in narcotics, in all these things. That's what these things are, all right, and such like. Okay, of the which I have told you before, as I've told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. So a lot of these Christians celebrating Carnival, and they think they're going to go to some place in the sky, which of course is not the kingdom of God. But those people that do these sorts of things, they shall not inherit the kingdom of God. All right. So let me go into what I said I was going to go into was part of the uncleanness. All right. So y'all give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up a video real fast. It's going to illustrate a lot of the uncleanness that happens during Carnival. It's something that you would never do. You would never think to do this usually, but because it's Carnival now, it's just deemed as acceptable. It's just deemed as, this is just something that happens on Carnival. Some people even apologize when they did this thing, but there really ain't no, you can't just do something like this and then apologize and it's just cool. Alright, so we're gonna get into it. Let me real fast. I know we probably close on the time. Good night. I've been going for a minute. Alright, so we're gonna end this thing at 7 p.m. because at 7 p.m. the ISUPK United Kingdom will start the Monday law class. Alright, with either Officer Mawasar or Officer Aria Allen. Make sure y'all tune into that class. It's gonna be on the YouTube, the Facebook, everywhere we're at. Make sure you're following all our social media so you can find all our classes. Alright, so let's get into this video real fast. Alright, give me 1 second. Go play this. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. So this is somebody's backyard. Mm-hmm. And now you just have people relieving themselves in public. Just have people relieving themselves in public in people's front yards, just letting go because they're drunk and they kind of, they can no longer hold, their liquor. Just have numerous different people are now coming into this person's yard and just relieving themselves. Alright, even in this last one, this is the same sister that the first one. She came again to do the same thing again. Alright, now this you wouldn't usually, this ain't something she would usually do. I don't think on a random Thursday she would just walk into somebody's yard and, relieve herself in public. But that's what Carnival is. That's what Carnival will do. It reduces our people, which our people are known for being clean. Not like our oppressor. Alright, we're known for being far more clean, but when you're in this carnival, which all bets are off. Everything is just now acceptable. You will do these sorts of things. You debase yourself to now the level of an animal. Animals relieve themselves in public. And now you have this sister who I'm sure would not do that on a regular Tuesday. She's now debased herself in a very animalistic way. Alright? That's what Carnival does. That's the spirit of Carnival. That's Saturnalia. That's, the serving or the worshipping of Bacchus. Alright, we're gonna get into something else too. Another thing that happens during Carnival is that all your sensibilities and your inhibitions, things that you would not normally do because these are crazy and unsafe, you do these things during Carnival because, again, all bets are off. You just do whatever impulse your mind tells you to do. You just now want to do these things. And Benjamites have, Benjamites, or people from the Caribbean, we're known for being a really extreme people, whether it be really extreme in in serving the Most High. Like you see Benjamites in the ISUPK, and we real extreme for serving the Most High. Or you can have it on the other side where we real extreme to do everything against the Most High. Alright, we just a real extreme people. Okay? So we're gonna get into another video. Let me get this one up. Now this, I find this hilarious because this is something that happens. Like I see footage, I see a video of this happening at every carnival. Every single carnival, for some reason, bus stops just people just can't resist a good bus stop apparently, and they decide to get up on these bus stops. Give me 1 second. We open this. They decide to get up on these bus stops because they dancing, they drinking, they listening to music, they having fun. But all these people upon that, upon that bus stop ain't built to support weight on top of it. Alright, so what happened when you got 5, 8, 10 different people on top of a bus stop? The same thing that happens every single year. Alright, we're gonna get this up if this video loads. You're gonna bear with me 1 minute. Alright. And while we get into this, if y'all are new to the live, make sure y'all follow the page. Make sure you like the live, share it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna bring this out. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post this too on the I believe I can download the live. So what I'll do is I'll post this up on our Facebook, potentially our YouTube as well. So anybody that missed the live, they can watch it afterwards too. Potentially our YouTube as well. So anybody that missed the live, they can watch it afterwards too. Alright, Romans chapter 8 and verse 6. We're gonna read through to 8. Alright, it says, For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Now we gonna look at the crime statistics, but to be carnally minded, that results in being unalived. When you think about only, the things that your flesh desires, you might sleep with a brother's rib because your flesh desires it. You might, hurt somebody because your flesh desires it, and then that comes back upon you, and you end up being unalived. That's what being carnally minded results in. And Carnival is a very carnally minded festival. It's a very carnally minded event. And that's what it leads to. You see it in all the statistics. We're going to get into a sister who was, unalived at the carnival. All right, it says, because the carnal mind is enmity against God. The carnal mind fights against the Most High. Your body, your mind, what you desire to do is against God. All right, it's against God and against your own life. But you desire to do it because your flesh desires it. For it is not subject to the law of God. Your flesh don't listen to no law of the Most High. Your flesh just wants to, do anything it wants to do, feel whatever sensation it wants to feel, but it's not subject to the law of God. Neither indeed can be. So then, they that are in the flesh cannot please God. If you are in the flesh and you are doing things that are carnal and against the Most High, you cannot please your Father. The same way a father will set rules for his household. A father will set rules for his children. But those children, they might have impulses. They lack self-control. It's understandable to an extent when you're younger. But when you're older and you should know better, your father ain't gonna be pleased when you continually just acting on impulse. You ain't thinking about what you're doing. You just doing stuff. Your father is not pleased in these things. All right? That's what the Most High God is. He ain't your friend. He ain't, he ain't your pal. He ain't your best friend. He ain't, he's a father. All right? Now I'm trying to get this video to load, but give me. All right. Let me see if I'm gonna send them one by one. Try to send them again. All right, shalom to everybody that's joining the stream again. Tonight's topic we're going over. We got about 5 more minutes left because I want to go over the time because of course we got the law class. All right, so what I'm gonna do instead? Let me see. I think we can skip past those videos. You have people doing very dangerous things in order to, quote unquote, secure a wine. Is very foolish things that they would not normally do. Like you have people climbing on bridges, where on a regular day, you ain't gonna climb on a bridge because if you fall, that's raps. You have people climbing up on bus stops. Eventually, ends up falling. You can get broken bones. You could be unalive from the fall of that distance, depending on where you land. Humans and its brothers and sisters, and humans, especially women, are very fragile. It don't really take much. It don't really take much. A bump on the head, and that could be it. That could be all she wrote. All right, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna quickly get into the crime statistics because we close up on the time. All right, so we got right here Notting Hill Carnival update on incidents and arrests. All right, so we can now confirm that over the 2 days of Notting Hill Carnival, there were 61 incidents where officers were assaulted, 24 on Sunday and 37 on Monday. All right, so it even ramped up on Monday. Okay, the assaults mostly involve kicks, punches, and pushes, and that's what I'm saying about that violence. If you're a violent person, when you're at a carnival, you become even more violent. You're just attacking everybody. You can attacking police, where I don't know if y'all know, but if you attack police, they will find you, and now you're doing however many years because you could not restrain yourself. You could not contain yourself. All right, there were 4 incidents where officers were spat at, 2 where officers were headbutted, and 2 where officers had glass bottles thrown at them. Okay, in total this year there were 8 stabbings. On Sunday, 3 people were stabbed, 2 sustained non-threatening injuries, and a 32-year-old woman remains in a critical condition. And we have an update on that critical condition, so we're gonna get into it. All right, update. Unaliving of woman stabbed at Notting Hill Carnival. A woman who was stabbed at Notting Hill Carnival has sadly been unalived. Shortly before 6 p.m. on Sunday, the 25th of August, officers deployed in Goulburn Road, W10, by the bar. We're going to skip to the important part because we close to the time. The officers gave emergency medical treatment until the arrival of paramedics. The woman, who was later identified as 32-year-old Cher Maximin, was transported to a hospital in critical condition. Despite their best efforts of medical staff, Cher was unalived on the morning of Saturday, 31st of August. All right, so as a result of Carnival, and you see you see so much violence. You see so much violence of these things every time. And, we act in surprise, but that's what Carnival is. Carnival is a time where you can just release anything it is you want to do. It just all happens. Every feeling, every impulse, what do they call it? They call it a intrusive thought. Every intrusive thought you have in your mind, you act upon it during Carnival. All right, so we're gonna read on. There was another. Let me see. On Monday, 5 people were either stabbed or slashed. 3 sustained non-life-threatening injuries. 2 men were taken to hospital in a life-threatening condition. One of the men is now stable, and they await further update. A 41-year-old man remains in critical condition in hospital, having sustained a head injury during an assault. There were 349 arrests over the weekend. So 349 people, and now, have been arrested over the weekend. 102 on Sunday and 247 on Monday. Okay, we're going to get the breakdown of what they've been arrested for. So we got possession of offensive weapons, in total 72. Assault on emergency workers, so that includes, police and paramedics being assaulted, 53. Sexual offenses, you got SAs, you got 13. Violence with injury, 12. Any other violence, 21. Possession of a firearm. Now, firearms are illegal in the UK, but you got 1 during Notting Hill Carnival. All these things are illegal. These are crimes. We're going through the crimes, but, it's very hard to get a firearm in the UK. Possession with intent to supply drugs, 19. So, of course, you got that's what happens. People indulge in all sorts of narcotics. You got possession of Class A, 18, possession of Class B, 53, possession of nitrous oxides, which is those canisters which destroy your damn mind. You got 8, possession of any other drugs. 12, theft. 4, other theft offenses. 3, so that's maybe stealing like from a car or something, not directly from a person. Robbery. 5, vehicle crime. 3, harassment. 1, public order. 14, and other offenses. 37. So in total, you had 349 offense, because that's what Carnival is. Any intrusive thought in your mind, a person who otherwise might not be a criminal, when they are Carnival, they do something that is just out of their character, because that's the spirit of Carnival. Carnival is releasing all your desires, releasing all your inhibitions, anything that you would not do, you do during Carnival. Alright, and that's why your life remains hell. Carnival is exactly the reason your life remains hell. And what Carnival represents, and even that spirit that goes on from Carnival, it goes further than the Carnival. It leads into your everyday life, because our people today, as a nation, we lack restraint. We lack restraint because we follow after our oppressor. Our oppressor does anything that he wants. He does anything he pleases, and he is found not guilty. So we think, okay, I'm going to follow after, the same man that had us in slavery. He is the same master today. We now have no restraint because we're trying to be like him. The difference is we get punished. We get punished when we have no restraint. All right, and that's why you see all them arrests. All right, and with that, that's the time. I think I've thoroughly broken down to you why Carnival is the reason why your life remains hell. All right, with that, make sure you'll like the video, make sure you'll share it. I'm gonna see if I can post this up on, social medias, and join us on the Thursday. I'm gonna go into another topic. All right, Thursday's topic is going to be dating shows, including them Red Pill podcasts, are the reason your relationships fail. All right, we're gonna go into that on Thursday. With that, I say Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Baraka Thumb to all the brothers, and Yahweh Shema Ala Thumb Ba'ashem Yahushai to all the sisters. Alright, Shalom.